Good evening, children. Now let's move to the class. We have started the chapter Money and Credit. Today is the second class of this chapter. So let's see to it what we have studied in the previous classes. Okay, so my point is, okay, the major learning objectives were different phases of evaluation of money, definition, features, functions and significance of money, various modern form of money, bank and its basic functions, credit, terms of credit and their role, source of credit, critical analysis, role of cooperatives and SHGs in capital formation. Now the first point is, how did money evolve? In the primitive age, need of people were very limited and people by themselves collected everything like food to eat and skin of animals and plants to wear, etc. There was no need of exchange and money. But there was an emergence of exchange. With the passage of time, there came the emergence of exchange. With the growth of civilization, needs of people started increasing. People who were expert in producing some goods started taking it as a profession. They started collecting other goods that they need from other producer in exchange of the goods produced by them. Example, a person making stone tools gives the tools to the hunter and gets meat against the tool. Then the next point is barter system. Now what was this barter system? Barter system, as you know, that the system of direct exchange in which commodities are exchanged for some other commodity without using any medium of exchange is known as barter system. Then came the system of money as a medium of exchange. So in other words, if I say the barter system is a system of trade that does not involve currency or money. The barter system is a system in which one good of value is traded with another good of equal value. Let's talk about measure of value. It is the other function of money. Money serves as a measure of value in terms of unit of account. Then let's talk about modern forms of money. From here I am going to start, children. In the previous class we have started it, but we were not able to complete it. So today the target is modern forms of money. Now let's start with it. Before the introduction of coins, a variety of objects were used as money. For example, in the very early ages in India, we used grains, cattle, leather, metals, etc. as money. Thereafter, we started the use of metallic coins, coins made of gold, silver and copper coins, and is continued till the last century. Now, then came the phase of modern times, or we can talk about the modern forms of money. In the modern times, we normally use two forms of money. One is currency, or you can call it as paper notes, and the other one is bank money. Bank money, you can say that, or you can talk about deposits with money. Items such as knife, cow, wheat and shoes were once used as money. Now, if I talk about today currency, in currency I talk about paper notes plus coins and checkable deposits constitute money. Currency is an important form of modern money. Each country has its own currency. For example, rupees in India, dollar in USA, pound in United Kingdom, and so on. Currency can be anything which is authorized by the government of the country. जो भी जिस देश की सरकार ऑथराइज करती है वो उस देश की करेंसी होती है, and that currency has to be accepted for all kinds of transactions. Currency includes coins and paper notes. Coins are made of some metals, hence they are called metallic coins. Remember the term? Coins are made of metals, hence they are called as metallic coins. The use of metallic coins presented certain difficulties like transactions, storage, etc. This marked the development of paper notes or currency notes. For example, if I give you 100 rupees, if you are having 100 rupees, one currency if you are having, one note you are having, it's good. But if in place of one note printed, if you get 100 1 rupee coins, which one would be easier for you to carry? 100 coins of 1 rupee each or one single paper note of rupees 100? So my opinion would be that the currency means the paper note would be easier for us to take. In every country, the issue of currency is either in the hands of central government or in the hands of central bank. Okay children, tell me one answer. In India, currency is in the hands of central government or in the hands of which bank? Name the bank which is having the issue of currency. Yes children, tell me. Okay, child has given the answer, that is RBI, that is Pratyush and Priya. Good, the answer is Reserve Bank of India, that is RBI. In India, the currency is being issued on the name of RBI. So in every country, the issue of currency is either in the hands of central government or in the hands of central government or in the hands of central bank. In India, the central bank is RBI, that is Reserve Bank of India. In India, the currency notes is the monopoly of the RBI. Now the next point is, in India, the accepted currency is rupees. This is official medium of payment. Rupees is the official medium of payment. No one can refuse to accept it by the government. Now, if I talk about what is currency, currency equals to paper note plus coins. Okay, and if I talk about the simple definition of currency, that what is currency, then what you will say? You will say it is money in the form of paper or coins, usually issued by government and generally accepted at its face value as a method of payment. Now let's talk about the other point, that is bank money. Whether if I say bank money or deposits with banks, the other form in which people keep money is deposited with banks. At a point of time, People do not need all currency they hold. Rather, only some currency is needed to meet day-to-day cash requirements. Example, आपके पास 5 लाख रुपए हैं, इट्स एन एग्जाम्पल. तो 5 लाख आप अपने घर में नहीं रखेंगे, 5 लाख रुपए आप अपनी जेब में नहीं रखेंगे. आपको जैसी ज़रूरत होगी आप बैंक से उतना पैसा निकाल सकते हैं. पैसा ज़्यादा होता है बैंक में डाल सकते हैं. सो बैंक इज द प्लेस where the money can be stored. It can be deposited in the bank, and as much you require to have your day-to-day cash requirements, you can get it. The rest, that is the surplus currency, जो आपके पास एक्स्ट्रा पैसे हैं, is deposited in banks. To keep money in terms of deposits in banks, to keep money in terms of deposits in banks is advantageous. देखो बैंकों में फ़ायदा रखने का प्रॉफिट होता है. There are certain benefits of keeping the money in banks. My first point is देखो इसमें कौन कौन से फ़ायदे हैं. जैसे पहला, people's money is safe. सबसे बड़ी चीज़, हमारा जो पैसा रहता है वो सेफ है. Second point, banks pay an amount of interest on deposits. देखो जैसे आप घर में 5 लाख रुपए रखते हैं, चाहे 10 साल रखो चाहे 15 साल रखो, वो जितने हैं उतने ही रहेंगे. 5 लाख से वो 6 लाख नहीं हो जाएंगे. लेकिन अगर वही पैसे आप बैंक में जमा करते हैं, इफ़ यू आर कीपिंग दैट मनी और इफ़ यू आर डिपॉजिटिंग दैट मनी इन योर अकाउंट, इन योर सेविंग बैंक अकाउंट और इन द बैंक, देन यू आर गोइंग टू गेट द इंटरेस्ट अमाउंट ऑफ दैट. इंटरेस्ट यू विल बी अर्निंग. मतलब पैसा जितना था उतना तो रहेगा ही रहेगा, प्लस साथ में आपका पैसा और ज़्यादा इंक्रीज कर जाएगा. क्योंकि हम जो भी पैसा बैंक में जमा करते हैं, ऑन दैट वी गेट अ इंटरेस्ट. एक इंटरेस्ट मिलता है, एंड दैट इंटरेस्ट इज ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ कंपाउंड इंटरेस्ट. एंड आई होप सो दैट यू ऑल वुड बी नोइंग द कंपाउंड इंटरेस्ट. दैट इज द पॉइंट. नाउ द नेक्स्ट पॉइंट इज people can also withdraw the money as and when they require. पैसे की आपको कभी अचानक जरूरत पड़ जा रही है, कुछ भी है, तो आपने जितना भी अपने खाते में जमा किया है आप उस पैसे को निकाल सकते हैं. There are different types of accounts which are opened by banks. Banks में कई तरह के खाते होते हैं. They are different in terms of interest payable and term of deposits. The deposit where money can be withdrawn anytime is called demand deposit. Bank money refers to bank deposits by people with banks which they can withdraw at any time they like. The deposits in the bank accounts that can be withdrawn on demand are called demand deposits. The banks offer another right to the depositor. He is allowed to make a payment through check instead of cash. तो वो सबसे बड़ा फ़ायदा क्या है, आप किसी को, अगर आपको पैसे किसी को देने हैं तो आप चेक के थ्रू दे सकते हैं, नकद देने की ज़रूरत नहीं है. देखो चेक से एक और फ़ायदा होता है. चेक से देयर इज़ अ रिकॉर्ड. आपके खाते, उसने आपका चेक लगाया तो चेक में उसका नाम लिखा रहेगा कि किसके खाते में पैसा ट्रांसफ़र हुआ है, मतलब आपके खाते से किसके खाते में गया है. और वही अगर किसी को आप कैश दे देते हैं, नगद दे देते हैं, तो उसका कोई रिकॉर्ड नहीं होता है. उसने कह दिया हमें नहीं दिया था, लेकिन अगर बैंक के थ्रू है, रिटर्न में है, तो देन इट इज़ एन एविडेंस. द बैंक्स ऑफर अनदर राइट टू द डिपॉजिटर. ही इज अलाउड टू मेक अ पेमेंट थ्रू चेक इंस्टेड ऑफ कैश. For payment through a check, the payer who has an account with the bank writes a check for a specific amount. अब एक क्वेश्चन हो सकता है, what is a check? What is the meaning of a check? You can say a check is a paper instructing the bank to pay a specific amount from the person's account to the person in whose name the check has been made. Demand deposit, therefore, is an alternative cash transaction. In short, you can say money equals to currency plus demand deposits. अच्छा, एक चीज और हम लोग कह सकते हैं, it is important to note that the check itself is not money. It is the demand deposits against which the check is written in money. Check performs the same function as money. चेक भी वही काम करता है जो आपका पैसा, जो कैश काम करता है. That is payments for purchases as a medium of exchange. Therefore, demand deposit are also treated as an important form of money. Let's talk about what are the advantages of check payment. Check payment के क्या क्या फायदे हैं? Can anyone tell me 2-3 points of check deposit? Check payments benefit. Yes, I am waiting for your answer, children. Just tell me the benefits, just 2 benefits to pay through check. Saurabh, Kushwaha, Pratyush, Priya, Anushka Tripathi. Just tell me what are the benefits or what are the advantages of check payment. Any 2 points I need from you. Okay, correct answers are given by Bharti Kushwaha. A check is a paper instructing the bank to pay a specific amount from the person's account to the person in whose name the check has been issued. The answer by Anirudh Dwivedi is check allows for large transfers in less time. Very exact point. Then Priya Yadav, we have evidence that the money is paid. Yes, these are the 3 correct benefits of check payment. Now let's talk about more. Now, if I talk about children, advantages of check payments, they are, the first point is, it is a convenient mode of payment as the payer need not go to the bank for cash withdrawal to make payment. Second point is, no cash is needed to make payment. Money is simply transferred from one bank account to another bank account. Check can be written to exact amount. जितने का आपको चेक देना है, 501 रुपये 99 पैसे का या 1 करोड़ का, as much amount you want, you can write it on that, and the exact amount would be transferred in the account of the other person. Check can be produced as an evidence in the event of any dispute. सबसे important point, कभी किसी बात को लेकर disturbances आ जाती हैं कि आपने हमको पैसा दिया या नहीं दिया, then this check can be produced as an evidence in the event of any dispute. So these are the 4 advantages of check payments. Now the next point is payment through check. Let us now understand how payments are made through check. Suppose a housewife, Snehlata, makes some grocery purchases from a provision store. She has to make payment of rupees 6,500 for the items purchased. She, having an account with the State Bank of India, simply writes a check for rupees 6,500 in the name of Ramlal, the owner of the store. मतलब दुकान का जो भी मालिक है उसके नाम पे मैंने एक चेक लिख दिया, चेक काट के उसको दे दिया और उसको अकाउंट पे ही कर दिया. ध्यान देना, मैंने उसको अकाउंट पे ही कर दिया, मतलब जिसका अकाउंट मतलब जिसका भी अकाउंट उस बैंक में होगा किसी के खाते में ही जाएगा, कोई उसे कैश विड्रॉ नहीं कर सकता है। मीन्स इट विल बी ट्रांसफर्ड फ्रॉम वन अकाउंट टू द अनदर अकाउंट। ओके, अब इसके बाद क्या होगा, रामलाल के नाम पे चेक काटा था तो रामलाल बैंक जाएंगे और वो चेक को डिपॉजिट कर देंगे, चेक को अपना फॉर्म भरेंगे और इसमें डिपॉजिट कर देंगे और उनके अकाउंट में वो पैसा जमा हो जाएगा। ओके, इन अदर वर्ड्स इफ आई से रामलाल विल देन डिपॉजिट दिस चेक इन हिज ओन अकाउंट। जरूरी नहीं है कि आपने स्टेट बैंक का चेक काट के दिया है तो जिसको दिया है उसका स्टेट बैंक में खाता हो, उसका मान लो पंजाब नेशनल बैंक में, तो क्या होगा, रामलाल will then deposit this check in his own account with Punjab National Bank. Then Punjab National Bank collects the money from Snehlatha's bank account with the SBI of India and deposits in Ramlal's account. मतलब जो स्नेहलता का अकाउंट था स्टेट बैंक में, वहां से पैसा निकलेगा और वो ऑटोमेटिक ट्रांसफर हो जाएगा इनके अकाउंट में, रामलाल के अकाउंट में, जो कि पंजाब नेशनल बैंक में है। इन दिस वे द ट्रांजैक्शन इज कंप्लीट विदाउट द पेमेंट ऑफ कैश। तो ये इजी रहेगा कि जो ट्रांसफर है वो आसानी से हो जा रहा है, मतलब एक खाते से निकल के दूसरे खाते में चला जा रहा है, एंड इट इज वेरी सेफ एंड सिक्योर एंड यू कैन शो इट टू ऑल्सो। अगर आपको किसी को एविडेंस दिखाना हो, बाद में दुकान वाला ये नहीं कह सकता, रामलाल कैन नॉट से कि मुझे उन्होंने पैसे नहीं दिए। यू आर हैविंग अ रिटन डॉक्यूमेंट, अ रिटन रिकॉर्ड ऑफ दैट एंड नो बडी कैन चैलेंज दैट रिकॉर्ड। सो दैट इज द वन बेनिफिट थ्रू चेक। और जो भी बड़ी बड़ी डील्स होती हैं, आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट व्हेन यू परचेज अ हाउस, कार, एनीथिंग, एट दैट मोमेंट ऑफ टाइम यू पे द पार्टी थ्रू अ चेक। आप चेक का इस्तेमाल करते हैं, यू डोंट पे द पर्सन इन कैश, बिकॉज इफ यू पे द पर्सन इन कैश देन दैट इज नॉट गोइंग टू बी अ रिकॉर्ड। सो थ्रू चेक a record can be maintained. Now let's move to the other point. Loan act. Now let's talk about currency versus bank money. My point is currency versus bank money. Now currency and bank money, that is demand deposits with banks, are two forms of money. Currency and bank money are two forms of money. Currency is legal money. Nobody can refuse to accept it. देखो करेंसी जो होती है एकदम लीगल मनी होती है, उसको कोई मना नहीं कर सकता एक्सेप्ट करने के लिए। ऑन द अदर हैंड बैंक मनी इज ऑप्शनल। जो बैंक मनी होती है, डिमांड डिपॉजिट होती है, वो ऑप्शनल होती है। वन इज नॉट बाउंड टू एक्सेप्ट इट। जरूरी नहीं है कि आप किसी को चेक दें और आपका चेक वो एक्सेप्ट कर ले। जरूरी नहीं है कि उस इंसान का अकाउंट बैंक में हो, वो नहीं चाहता हो कि उसके खाते में कहीं से कोई ट्रांजैक्शन एक्स्ट्रा इनकम आए, फिर उसको जवाब देना पड़ सकता है ये पैसा आपके खाते में कैसे आया। सो दैट्स व्हाई बैंक मनी इज ऑप्शनल। वन इज नॉट बाउंड टू एक्सेप्ट इट। द एक्सेप्टेंस ऑफ चेक इज टोटली ऑप्शनल। फोर्सफुली आप किसी को चेक नहीं दे सकते हैं, वो कहेगा कैश चाहिए तो कैश देना पड़ेगा। However, some legal provisions exist to ensure that people do not cheat others. There is a provision for punishment to defaulters. देखिए कई बार क्या होता है, फॉर एग्जाम्पल आपको कहीं पे पैसे देने थे 1,00,000 रुपए, एंड इन योर पॉकेट यू आर नॉट हैविंग, आपको जिससे आपने उधार लिए थे वो आपको परेशान कर रहे, पैसे दो, एंड फाइनली आप परेशान होकर उसको चेक काट के दे देते हो। यू हैव जस्ट रिटर्न अकाउंट पे चेक, यू हैव हैंडेड ओवर टू द अदर पर्सन। वो चेक, आपका चेक लेके जाता है, बैंक में लगाता है और पता चलता है कि आपके अकाउंट में उतने पैसे ही नहीं हैं। वो चेक बाउंस हो गया। चेक बाउंस हो गया तो जिसने उस चेक को लगाया था अपने अकाउंट में, उसके अकाउंट से एक 250 या 450 रुपीज़ ऑटोमेटिकली विड्रॉ हो जाएंगे, वो कटते हैं उसके चेक लगाने के। बट जिसने चेक काटा था उसका नुकसान क्या होगा कि दैट अ लीगल एक्शन कैन बी टेकन अगेंस्ट दैट पर्सन। एक लीगल एक्शन उसके अगेंस्ट लिया जा सकता है. वाई? बिकॉज हियर द चेक हैज बाउंस्ड. चेक बाउंस हुआ है. बाउंस होने का मतलब क्या होता है कि इन योर अकाउंट यू आर नॉट हैविंग द मनी. आपके खाते में पैसा नहीं है, लेकिन आप किसी को चेक काट के दे रहे हो. आप दुकान पे गए, आपने खूब सामान खरीदा, करीब 2-4 लाख का सामान खरीद लिया, और दुकान वाले को लो, ये लो चेक ले लो, चेक काट के दे दिया, और पता चला कि आपका बैंक अकाउंट पहले ही बंद हो चुका है. तो ये फेक में आ जाता है. लीगल एक्शन कैन बी टेकन अगेंस्ट दिस. नाउ let's move to the next point. Loan activities of banks. Okay, your people would be knowing that what is the meaning of the word loan. Loan का मतलब क्या होता है? The word loan means when you take a good amount, when you take an amount of money from the bank for a certain period of time, either for 1 year, 6 months, 20 years, or that kind of thing. That is the loan. Now let's talk about loan activities of banks. Banks perform two important functions. First one is acceptance of deposits and advancing of loans. Thus, on the one hand, banks accept deposits from the public, and on the other hand, they give loans to the needy. जनता अपना पैसा जमा करती है बैंकों में, और ज़रूरतमंदों को बैंक उधार देता है. हम लोग अपना पैसा बैंक में जमा करते हैं सेफ मोड के लिए, हमें उस पर रेट ऑफ इंटरेस्ट मिलता है, और बैंक अपना पैसा उन लोगों को देता है जिनको आवश्यकता है, जो बैंक से लोन लेते हैं, ऋण लेते हैं. उधार नहीं, ऋण. दैट इज लोन. Thus, banks act as an intermediate between the depositors and borrowers. We know that banks give interest to the depositors and charge interest from the borrower. देखो, हम लोग बैंक में अगर पैसा जमा करते हैं अपने सेविंग बैंक अकाउंट में, एफडी में, तो हमें उस पर रेट ऑफ इंटरेस्ट मिलता है, हमें उस पर ब्याज मिलता है. ऑन द अदर साइड द सेम थिंग इज देयर फ्रॉम द अदर साइड ऑल्सो. हम लोग भी जब बैंक से लोन लेते हैं, व्हेन वी टेक अमाउंट ऑफ लोन फ्रॉम द बैंक, हमें उस पर इंटरेस्ट देना पड़ता है. वी पे अ अमाउंट ऑफ इंटरेस्ट. बैंक हमें उधार देता है, ऋण देता है, तो हमसे ब्याज लेता है. सो द लेंडिंग रेट इज ऑलवेज हाई. रिमेंबर दिस पॉइंट. द लेंडिंग रेट इज ऑलवेज हायर देन द डिपॉजिट रेट्स. जो लेंडिंग रेट होगा, जो ऋण का ब्याज होगा, वो ज़्यादा होगा एज कंपेयर टू योर डिपॉजिट रेट्स. The difference between what is charged from borrower and what is paid to depositor is the main source of income of the bank. Remember this point, children. The main source of income of the bank is this only, that the charges from borrowers, whatever charges they take from the borrower, that is the source of income of the bank. Banks know from where their experience. Banks know from their experience that all the depositors do not demand all the money at the same time. देखो, आप अगर बैंक में पैसा जमा करते हो तो आपकी बहुत ज़्यादा, if you are in too much need, then only you will be withdrawing your money. तभी आप अपना पैसा निकालेंगे अगर बहुत ज़्यादा ज़रूरत पड़ जाती है तो. अगर आपको ज़रूरत बहुत इम्पॉर्टेंट नहीं है तो आप अपना पूरा पैसा विड्रॉ नहीं करेंगे. ये बैंक को पता है, तो इतने सारे उसके कस्टमर्स होते हैं. इट इज़ हैविंग न्यूमरस कस्टमर्स, सो दैट्स व्हाई इट गिव्स द डिपॉजिटर्स मनी ओनली टू द बोरोवर्स. डिपॉजिटर्स मनी इज बीइंग लोन्ड to the borrowers. And what is the benefit of this? That the money is always rotating. Money is always in movement. पैसा जो है कहीं टिकता नहीं है, पैसा हमेशा फ्लोट में रहता है. It is always floating. So they keep on a small proportion of their deposits as cash reserves with themselves. For example, banks in India these days hold about 15% of their deposits as cash. This is kept as provision to pay the depositors who might come to withdraw money from the bank on any given day. Since on any particular day, only some of its money depositors come to withdraw money, the bank is able to manage with the money. ज़रूरी नहीं कि एक ही दिन सारे लोग जितने भी कस्टमर्स हैं बैंक के सारे एक ही दिन पहुंच जाए अपना पैसा निकालने, तो हर दिन थोड़े थोड़े लोग आते हैं, तो थोड़े थोड़े के लिए वो लोग 15% 15% ऑफ द अमाउंट, मान लो कि बैंक में 100 करोड़ रुपए जमा है, तो करीब 15 करोड़ रुपए वो लोग अपने अमाउंट अपने बैंक में रखते हैं कि कोई भी अगर उनका कस्टमर आता है पैसा निकालने विड्रॉ करने, देन दैट कस्टमर कैन इजीली गेट दैट. Hence, keeping a small portion of total deposits as cash reserve, the major portion can be given as loans by the banks. और जो मेजर पोर्शन है जो 85% उन्होंने क्या किया है उसको लोन के फॉर्म में they have given to the borrowers in the form of loan. Loans always remain in great demand for various economic activities. And children, you know that loan is always in demand, either 20 years back or after 20 years, in the past or in the future. Loan is always going to be in great demand. Say to buy a house, to buy a car, or to start or expand a business, or for education. So the money, loans are always needed. When you are small, when you pass your class 12, then education loan, after completing your education, all that, after marriage loan, then after that your house loan. From birth till death, loaning moves on. Loaning is a continuation. Now let's talk about significance of bank deposits. Now, if I talk about significance of bank deposit, the word significance means importance. What is the importance of bank deposits? Deposits with banks are beneficial both for individuals as well as for the nation. People's money is safe and they also receive interest on their deposits. Moreover, they can also withdraw their money in times of need. और सबसे बड़ी चीज़ क्या है, देखो इसमें हमें कोई डर नहीं होता है. घर में अगर आप बहुत ज़्यादा पैसा रख लेते हैं तो आपको डर होता है कहीं चोरी ना हो जाए, डकैती ना पड़ जाए. लेकिन बैंक में जमा है पैसा तो आपको कोई चिंता नहीं होती है कि बैंक में क्या होगा, बैंक सेफ है या नहीं सेफ, उससे आपको मतलब नहीं होता. इट मीन्स इट मेक्स यू फील सेफ एंड सिक्योर. Banks channelize their deposits for investment in development projects. Banks give loans to the needy people like farmers, businessmen, students or other group. Children, all these topics are clear to you? Okay, just now a child has asked me a question. Sir, how to ensure that our money with bank is safe or not? The answer for this question is because the banks are nationalized. Banks are nationalized means that the banks are under the government. If anything occurs in the bank, anything means either theft, dacoity, or if the bank is burnt, if there is fire in the bank, then in all these scenarios, the RBI will provide the amount to the customers or to its customers. That is the law for that. Okay, just think, if the banks are not nationalized, then why the people will deposit their amount in the banks? घर पे नहीं रख लेंगे आपको पैसा, बैंक में जमा ही क्यों करेंगे? अगर ये आप बोले कि बैंक भाग सकता है, तो बैंक भाग नहीं सकते हैं. बैंक में चोरी हो जाए, डकैती हो जाए, आग लग जाए. In all these conditions, it's the duty of the central government or the RBI to return back the amount to their account holders. Okay children, ready for MCQ? Okay children, now let's move to the main terms. Firstly, let's do a glossary. Glossary means the main terms which we have studied today. The first one is bank, then the second one is demand deposits, the third point is check, fourth point is currency, and the fifth point is loan. So now let's talk about the first term, bank. In short, I am doing just the revision. The word bank means a bank is a financial institution and a financial intermediary that accepts deposits and channels those deposits into lending activities. The second point is demand deposits. Demand deposits funds are deposited in a bank account at a low or zero interest rate, which allows depositors to directly withdraw their money and issue bank checks up to the limit of their account balance at any time. The third term is check. What is a check? A check is a document that orders a bank to pay a specific amount of money from a person's account to the person in whose name the check has been issued. The next point is currency. It is money in the form of paper or coins, usually issued by a central government and generally accepted at its face value as a method of payment. The next point is loan. What is this loan? A loan is when you receive money from a friend, bank, or financial institution in exchange for future repayment of the principal plus interest. Now children, let's recapitulate by the first question. Now the first question is on your screen. You can see the question. The question is, which of the following is not an informal source of credit? Option A, money lender. Option B, relatives and friends. Option C, commercial banks. And option D, traders. Now children, shoot up your answers. Okay, only Priya though has sent the answer. Others also send your answers fast. Okay, other children also give your answer. Snigdha Siddhant, send your answer fast. Okay children, so the right answer for this question is option C, and that is commercial banks. Very good Priya, Anirudh and Pratyush, your answer is correct. Now let's move to the next question. My next question is visible, would be shortly visible on your screen. The question is, in which country is the Grameen Bank meeting the credit needs of over 6 million poor people? Options are Bhutan, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh and Nepal. Read the question carefully and then answer it. Okay, children. Now let's move to the answer. The correct answer is option C, Bangladesh. Okay, the next question is now, which is not the main source of credit from the following? I am repeating the question. Which is not the main source of credit from the following? Option A, traders. Option B, relatives and friends. Option C, commercial banks. And option D, money lenders. Okay, children, the answer for this question is option A, that is traders. Now, I am moving to the next question. My next question is question number 12. What portion of deposits? Easy question, give the answer carefully. What portion of deposits are kept by the banks for their day-to-day transactions? Read the question fast. Question number 12 is visible. In my last 3-4 lines, I have given the answer of this question. What portion of deposits are kept by the banks for the day-to-day transaction? Answer it fast. Children, give the answer fast for the 12th question. Okay, good. Good, Pratyush. Yes, Pratyush has given, Snigdha Siddhant has given the correct answer. That is option B. Option B means 15%. The correct answer is 15%. Now let's look at the other question. Which households takes more loans from the formal sector? Poor households and rich household, well-off households and households with few assets, poor households and well-off households, well-off households and rich households. This is the last question for today, children. This is a confusing question. Think and answer. Okay, children, the correct answer for this question is option D. Well-off households and rich households. The correct answer is option D. well-off households and rich households. So this was the last question for today. Remaining part of the chapter would be done in the